In the words of the researcher Man Muhammad Al-Abed, Sheikh Burai is the product of the new Sufi phenomenon, where ordinary Sufi practices, including karama making, are used side by side with Orthodox Islam practices. Such a view reflects the way that the Samaniyah's new Sufi movement, by the way, has come to change on the Sudanese Sufism. And when we presented the new Sufism movement, we have stated that one of the attributes and the characteristics of the new Sufi movement, and among them is the Samaniya, which is Sheikh Al-Burai is one of its members, is joining between Sharia and Haqiqa. In other words, it laid great emphasis on committing to Sharia, following the acquisition and the acquiring of knowledge from a side, and at the same time showing the guide as a perfect one that has the ability of performing karamat or spiritual or supernatural acts. This is just, by the way, one of the new characteristics that have come to shape and to form the Sudanese Sufism following the advent of Neo Sufism movement that already we have presented in our previous episode when we have introduced the new Sufi movement represented in the Samaniya and was the school of Sheikh Ahmed ibn Idris, that is Khatmiya, in addition to Tijaniya. In his book, ذكريات وخواطر أفريقية, the former Syrian ambassador, the former Syrian ambassador at Khartoum, Turkey, Saqr, has described Sheikh Al-Burai as the Sheikh of the Sudan. To quote him, at Khartoum you will discover that the prophetic eulogies fill the streets as well as radio and TV. Also in the taxi, even in the private cars. Out of these well-famous ones are the eulogies of Sheikh Abdurrahim al-Burai, known as the Sheikh of all Sudan, who at his door stands the whole from the president to the simple citizen. An impression of a Western visitor. The traveling journalist, the German Prost Wanel, who spent more than 3 days at Zariba in an article published by the independent British newspaper, the article which sparked public opinion in Britain and accused political and religious parties of supporting and favoring the raising of Muslim spirituality in Britain. He described his visit to Zariba as a historic one that radiated in his life, and the honor of generosity of Sheikh Al-Burai left an impact in himself that grew his admiration whenever he remembered him. Just we quote of his words the following: the Muslim world has often been portrayed as a world of bearded fanatics, suicide bombers. But I found them from my visit distorted, impressionistic images that are far from the truth. However, my encounters with some Islamic leaders, like Sheikh Al-Burai, for example, when I arrived in Zariba, I saw Sheikh Al-Burai sitting on a carpet on the sand with his son, who called Jaili. There were many people there, particularly adolescents in Al-Masjid, carrying wooden slates that help in memorization of the Holy Quran. Before Sheikh Al-Burai built his mosque, Zariba was a courtyard inhabited by shepherds, according to the information I learned during my meetings with local officials. The Sufi was able to stabilize the area by establishing schools in addition to Quranic schools and health centers, which attracted devotees and murids from both inside and outside of Sudan. He also visited influential Arab and Islamic figures. As the river developed as an important center for the spread of Islamic culture and knowledge, I enter Sheikh al-Burai room. I enter Sheikh al-Burai's room called Retreat Khalwa, and he was sitting on a bed of robes. At first glance, I thought he was sitting on the throne, dressed in gold ornaments, as suggested by the pictures, posters, and volumes of Sheikh al-Burai poetry that were scattered throughout the markets. However, I discovered that he was a more moderate and behavioral figure, and his room was just a bed of robes with a carpet mat on the floor. Such a view, by the way, reflects how Sheikh way of austerity, despite his well-reputed and despite the well-reputed and fame that he enjoyed among the Sudanese people and beyond. As we have before stated in his doctrine, by the way, he is an example of ascetic, a true sincere ascetic, and because of his humility and humbleness and simplicity and the way that he followed in his treatment with the people, he stands as an example to the true guide and the true ascetic who possess, but at the same time, he's so humble and so simple and moderate in his dealing with others.